I was the only Black person in my class for years. But growing up in two very different worlds where I would catch the school bus up the hill to this beautiful, picturesque campus with all white kids who were living the life and not even realizing it.
Oh, man.
And then I'd take the bus back down the hill to my neighborhood and my friends. And I was like, y'all don't know what's out there.
What's going on in the world.
And I realized that lack of exposure is what keeps a lot of people back. But because I was exposed to it, I became friends with my classmates. I'd spend weekends spending the night at their homes.
Nice.
And I started talking to their parents, like, what do you do for work? And how did you get there? Like, what was your path? Because I knew I was not meant to be poor. And I'm like, this is a temporary situation.
I'm not meant to be broke.
We're going to fix it. Right? And so that was my whole driving force. Like, I may be in this situation now, but my kids will never have to live like this. And so that's what drove me to go to law school. I eventually went to business school, so I have an MBA as well. And just really trying to change not only my family's position, but the Black community altogether.
You know, we kindred spirits, right? So I grew up in a divorce home. So just to kind of connect the dots. And it was a similar thing. We talk about exposure. And really, when you look at the opportunities that are available for individuals and even minorities, which are limited, is that there's a lack of vision, right? And just being removed or moved into a different environment creates possibility. And so just kind of in that similar theme, when you think about law school and the extra 4 years or like three extra 3 years. Okay. So, you know, it's usually 3 to 4 years. Like from who were the people, right? So when you talk about long-term success or high-end success, and success is very relative, which is a big theme even in this conversation. How did you navigate it? Because most people, they can't give you, I think, especially as minorities, our parents typically couldn't give us what they didn't have themselves, right? So who were the people along the way that were guiding forces, that team to help you?
The very first role model that I had was Ella Grasso. She was the first woman governor of the state of Connecticut. And she came to talk to us at my school. And she was a lawyer.
What age, how old are you at this stage?
I was 7th or 8th grade.
Got you. Wow.
And she was so impressive, and she was leading the entire state. And she was this big, buxom woman. But she talked about how she had gone to law school and then got into politics. And I went up to talk to her after her talk.
Wow.
And I said, I want to be the first Black governor of the state of Connecticut. She was like, that is awesome. I went to law school. Law school opened so many doors of what you can do with that law degree. And so my original thought in going to law school was to be the first Black governor of the state of Connecticut. And, jury's still out. It's not too late. We haven't had one yet. But I moved to Atlanta, so I don't know. But then once I was in college.
Sure.
And my third cousin is Constance Baker Motley. The Honorable Constance Baker Motley, may she rest in peace.
Okay,
but
excellent.
She was Manhattan Borough President.
Okay.
She was nominated by President Lyndon Johnson as the first Black female to sit on the federal court. Amazing. In 1966.
You're educating me.
And she became my role model at that point as I got older. And my family started to say, you're related to Constance Baker Motley. I didn't know that I came from that.
Some pedigree in the family.
Yeah, so that really got me charged up about, I'm definitely going to law school now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know her.
Got you.
And so when I got to Wesleyan, I was talking to other students who also wanted to go to law school, but none of us knew the path to take. We heard about this LSAT test, but we didn't really know how to prepare, what it was, when it was. And so I started a minority law society at Wesleyan. And I got all the other minority students who wanted to go to law school. And back then, it's going to age me, but back then, there was no internet or anything. And so I got the Yellow Pages.
I can't believe it.
This huge book. I got the Yellow Pages and I flipped through to find attorneys and I just started calling them. And I said, I have a group of Black students who want to go to law school. We don't have mentors. We don't know what the path is. Can you come talk to us? And so I had lawyers coming to Wesleyan to talk to us about the process for what courses to take to study for the LSAT. When do you take it?
Wow.
What's the best time to start applying to law schools? And then one of the lawyers that came to talk to us ended up giving me an internship. He actually wrote my letter of recommendation for Georgetown Law School.
Okay, this is so exciting because I'm like you were poised for leadership. I mean, like at this stage, you're talking about like we typically hear a lot more, especially in our current generation, not because they're not amazing, just because it's convenience creates comfort creates convenience, right? So it's like the initiative, right? The initiative you gathered, you saw a need, you feel that this is like real. This is what makes entrepreneurs great, being able to see an opportunity, filling a gap. Yeah. So I'm just, as I'm listening to you, I'm like, wow, no surprise here. The jet is taking off of the runway. It's literally.
I like that.